Hello, this is Manesh Patel from the Affinity Trading Group. Today is May 10th, 2011. This is our weekly Ichimoku analysis for the currency market. Okay, before we begin, this is our normal disclaimer. This is to state this is for educational use only. We're not soliciting you to buy or sell any particular currency pairs out there. All charts are also in Thinkorswim or TradeStation. Okay, here are my contact details. You could contact me at mpatel@infinitytrading.com, or you could also contact our support team at support@infinitytrading.com. So now we got a lot to cover, so let's go ahead and jump straight into currencies. And let's go start looking at all the major pairs out there. Okay, if you start looking at the left-hand side of my screen, this is basically the weekly time frame, and the right-hand side is basically the daily time frame. If you look at the Euro USD, basically came down, did a pullback all the way to the Tinkerton. It's holding right now at this major support level of 43.14. That's very key because this is a weekly support level. If it breaks that, then it's going to go to the next support level of 39.06. But it looks like it's holding it pretty well right now in the last couple of days. If you look at the daily time frame, it's in a state of influx. The next support level is actually, it's got to break through 45.96 to be able to go higher. So just keep a lookout for that to start breaking through that. Once it does that, then it can enter a bullish trend to the top side. But if it holds here at the Tinkerton, then that's a minor pullback, and this pair has a tendency of going up a lot more than where it's at right now. Pound USD, same type of scenario here. It's right at support on the weekly support right now, at 65, about 35, 40. Its next support level is going to be at 60.44. In regards to it going up, it actually has to start going higher and break 65.07 in order for it to start a bullish trend again, retest the highs and blow past that. So you got the resistance levels and support levels for this one. Okay. Next currency pair we're going to discuss is the US Switzy. Remember, the US Switzy has been trending for a very long time going down. And if you look at it, last week was a minor pullback up. It still is bearish trending very, very seriously going to the downside. It really needs to break above 89.23 level to even start looking at this going up. And so, you know, it really hasn't even done a minor pullback at all. So really needs to break 89.23 to start looking at any bullish opportunities at all. If you're not in this position going down, it's deadly to even go bearish right now since it's way overextended. So be patient, wait for it to break 89.23 level, and then start looking at bullish opportunities for this, which will be counter trend to the weekly time frame, but bullish trending to the daily time frame. Let's go look at US yen. Sorry, the chart's a little slow because it's live market. US yen here, if you look at the weekly time frame as we're doing here, remember this was a movement where it went drastically down and the government came in and intervened and went drastically up. Well, we've retraced 50% of this move. That's not really good at all. This really needed to sit there and hold right around here, around 83, 84, and then keep on going higher in order for a bullish trend on the weekly time frame to be established. It really didn't at all. So this currency is actually a state of influx. I would even just walk away from it and not even look at it for a long time because there's no trend pattern at all there. Australian USD, this is one that made a biggest move in a short amount of time. You can see from the daily time frame here, it pulled back, went below the Cajun a little, and now resuming its trend with up. And you could see that. So it's bullish now, bullish trending on both the daily and weekly, moving upwards. Okay, so I would definitely, for intraday time frames, look for opportunities there. New Zealand USD did a pullback. Actually needs to break the 79.67 level to continue to go upwards, and it looks like it's pretty strong going upwards. So I'll definitely look for that. If it doesn't, then and it breaks below this level here at 79.17, then this is going to enter a major pullback as far as the weekly is concerned. Okay, I think we've covered all the US dollar denominated pairs, so let's start going outside of that. Euro, British pound. You can see from the daily time frame, it's in a state of influx right now. If you look at the weekly time frames between the Tinkins and Cajuns, and so it really needs to move above 88.33 in order to start a bullish trend completely. That's on the weekly, but if you look here on the daily, it's 88.80 is the key level. So it needs to start moving above 88.80 level in the next day or two in order for this thing to start moving. On a lot of currency pairs, especially with the euro and the pound involved, this week is very, very critical for them to continue moving up. If they don't, they're going to experience some major pullbacks. So this week's very critical for these pairs to start taking off. That means basically the dollar has to go back weak again this week, for those pairs to really start trending upwards. Okay. Let's go look at Euro New Zealand. This is an opportunity we've been looking at. The weekly look here is in the cloud, so it's basically consolidating. But we're looking at here on the daily time frame. This really needs to pull up a little, equalize, and then start going down. If it does, it can't start a bearish trend here, which then eventually could come over to the euro, the weekly time frame. So we have alerts set up on the Euro New Zealand, but that looks like the biggest opportunity right now for currencies to even start a trend. And the same thing for British Pound New Zealand. Same scenario. So New Zealand looks like it's trying to get stronger compared to the European countries out there. Okay, we'll see that in just a minute. You could see, and this thing really needs to start breaking down more. If it does, it's going to start pushing the weekly to enter a trend, and before you know it, it's going to go below 2. So these are the currency pairs that we're definitely looking at very heavily, along with also US CAD, which is basically, if you notice here, it's at a major support here, and honestly, if it breaks that support, this CAD is going to keep on going down and possibly can break the 9400 level. Reason why is if you look here, the Tinkins remained intact and is slowly trickling down, and this is the best opportune time for this thing to go up. But as you can see today, it's moved down and really holding its support level. So next day or two is going to tell everything about the US CAD and what's it going to do. If you look at it, unfortunately, there's not many currency opportunities this week. Reason why a lot of things are in pullback phase. The only things really are New Zealand USD and Australian Australian USD. So you need to just be patient and wait for those pairs to kind of trades to trigger and moving forward. Another currency pair that looks like it's going to get ready to go is Australia New Zealand here. It looks like it's trying to get back to the top here, retest it, and possibly go past it. But this is definitely an opportunity waiting to happen here too. Not a lot of people look at this currency pair, but it's a very active currency pair, and you can see it slowly moves up. A lot of high volatile swings, but the trend is still up. So it's a great trade to place on higher time frames. That's it for this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Speak to you next week. Thank you.